Pramila, Sean. That is Zanzi. Of course, I'm Zenzi. Payroll name, Deb Helfrich. Please, as I know you will, pardon my hyperlexia and my PDA and my selective mutism. I'm gonna need an assist here from somebody I'm pretty sure you'll also be able to respect completely. The Dalai Lama. This book is The Universe in a Single Atom, and ultimately, if you'll help me stay alive from really catastrophic adult onset autism, the IP of which I'm willing to completely share with the Brain Foundation, I'm ultimately on my way to the Mind and Life Conference to work with the Dalai Lama. He's saying he's 70 in this book, which is a decade ago. So we got to hurry up. And Zanzi's 14 and a half. She's got some timing issues. Have you ever met an autistic dog? No, she's decided to be a little autistic on me. She co-stars as she pleases. So anyway, there's just a couple things I want to read here, and this is in the conclusion of this book. I have a poetic theory. It's a philosophy of everything that is conscious, that I've done the regression thinking. Regression testing is a software term. Sean, I know, and Pramila, you both. I spent well over 2 decades as a PeopleSoft payroll implementation consultant. Carnegie Mellon degreed philosopher. So I'm not a tech Luddite, but I'm here to tell you that part of what you're paying for is the fact that because of autism and a toxic mold exposure, that's basically, I self-managed my autism my whole life. The reason I'm here for you is that toxic mold exposure, that one. And we've got all the data from the various different doctors I won't mention, but so page 281, this is a large print book, so I shouldn't tell you the page, it won't be. Scientists have a special responsibility, a moral responsibility, in ensuring that science serves the interest of humanity in the best possible way. Science and technology bought and sold to make a few men very rich. Now, I'm certainly not against anyone having money. I'm against the game that we're playing. This is where philosophy, where being precise is a really valid thing. I want to just go, we're going to have a situation here with a garbage truck. I can be autistic with you guys, so but it still stresses me out. The garbage truck is coming for me, The last thing he said here, we are all in this together. May each of us, as a member of the human family, respond to the moral obligation to make this collaboration possible. This is my heartfelt plea. He's, of course, pleading for his own brand of thinking, and I'm pleading to bring wise feminine philosophy. This is how my life goes. They just came around the blind corner. I'm sorry, but this is what I'm asking you for. Straight up first round funding of $55,000. Looking at about 6 months of an Airbnb, about $5,000, so that's 30, and about 25. I need devices. All my devices have went into planned obsolescence. But what's further right past this bit where I really don't have the capacity as a solo human in the world suffering from autism, I'd like to make a documentary. I think it's so interesting, BA in electrical engineering and an MFA in film production. So I am the globe's original philosopher of bio-electromagnetism, the philosophical hypothesis of bio-electromagnetism. I'm going to bring the philosophical method back to the world. This is where what's the 333,000, 333, 55, 333. I just play with the numbers. It's a thing. And here comes the landscaping equipment of mass destruction. So I'll be really, really quick. What my life is like. film, about 300 or so. I just need a videographer to capture me reversing my autism in my own way, philosophically, giving you the theories, the applied things from a big perspective, a global universe in a single atom perspective. It is very informed by quantum physiology. Quantum physiology is my own brand. And I'm trying to, the quanta concept, the light packets and the photons, I'm more about the phonons, the sound healing, bringing you guys a case study, a documentary, about 300 grand. So 55, you're just keeping me alive. And I will do work. So the number, I'll do my adult onset case study and do the theory of environmental trauma as a major, much more major than any other factor, contributor to child development onset autism, as it is what's caused my adult onset autism. And sorry it's spinning out, but this is why our kids can't talk. Talking is wired very far on from most embodied processes. We know this. We're the pinnacle of evolution. It's one of the last things. It's not as robustly evolutionarily tested and perfected. Autists are a physiological archetype. In some of the research, and now Elaine Aron, I'll just be with her, but we're about 20-25% of the species. We're built, and you'll want the word genetic. I don't know that that's exactly it. I think it's significantly much more nurture for humans. We got all the plasticity in the world as a child, and it prunes. But that what genetics gives us is access to all the previous evolutionary options. So I myself was a polar bear for my first 50 years, and I'm now in the process of evolving to the Trojan giraffe of whiteness. We are all African ancestrally. I want to unite all 8 billion of us. This is again why I consult and make sure that my work is in line with someone like the Dalai Lama. And also that he himself is a bit of a physics geek. I think we'll have some... I'm working to be the human who really can bring philosophy. It's gone extinct, and the way we think is the problem that we have to solve. It'll take me a while to tell you about that. So for 55, what I'll give you, you'll keep me alive, and we'll do my adult onset case study and my theory of environmental trauma. We'll do webinars all year long. I'll give me a round table or a presentation or whatever makes sense at Synchrony 25. That's 55. That's and I believe, because given the conversations I had this year, I can do some consulting. I can start earning some money on quality of life ideas. Okay, and then you guys will fund the science. But sound healing is really there. This is the work, and I'm just walking around with this all. Norman Doidge, The Brain's Way of Healing. This is the book from an MD that proves all my theories. But he doesn't have the theory. We got to start with what consciousness is. And so that's where we start shifting into 3 million and 33 million. 3 million, this helps me hire people. So all of this is about really getting me well enough to hire people. So the documentary at, around 300 grand, I need a videographer, and we'll document what I do, and they'll pull it together and we'll edit it. I love the film company that's working at and there were a couple guys from last fall that I would work with in a snap, because I'm going to have to be vulnerable. There's a lot of, Brené Brown can't handle my vulnerability when it comes to talking about autism, when it comes to talking about brain processing. I've said something I think is really important for both of you to have heard. Speech, human speech, is a pretty new evolutionary trick. And it's not wired in. When something's going wrong in the physiology, speech is entirely optimal. That you've got a 55-year-old Carnegie Mellon degreed, 2-decade software consultant willing to talk about her case study for autism. Nobody else can offer you this. Plan is then, if you got 300 grand, then, let's make a documentary of it. Then at 3 million, life-centric thinking. This is the applied change how the world thinks. So I'm trying to make a TED Talks cross with Khan Academy of life-centric thinking. It's out there. This has been what I've been trying to do for a long time. And then at 33 million, we're talking about that hashtag Wellbeing Philosophy Institute. You can search the hashtag on YouTube. My YouTube channel, hashtag Redheaded She-Hulk, is 510 videos that document my entire 3 years, 3 months of homelessness. So why my autism right now is skyrocketing is the horrors of homelessness that I'm quite, I think, excelling at. In that I decide that I'm learning to be a forager. I'm learning what our ancestors went through. I'm learning what it feels like to be in a world where you really have to every day be worried that your survival. It's all you have time to be worried for. So I went on too long, but this is really it. There's a big, huge, and I believe I've got at least $3 billion income streams. We're talking about life-centric thinking. We're talking about bioelectromagnetism, which is going to get us into sound healing. There's no woo-woo-ness there. The science of sound, as I'll share it with you, it's so impactful. You really start to learn how you can help these kids very quickly. Quality of life. And if we're getting some documentation, if we're doing this through the Brain Foundation, through small little philosophical experimentation trials, Mozart comes up, some of the classical music, some of these things, it's all in the Deutsch book, so through my life experience. And then where I'm already, you can see on my YouTube channel, pitching many other people. They just won't be able to process my autistic traits as well as you, which is why it's sort of a how can we. Where in this is the big, I'm trying to make it as easy as possible for you to just be like, yeah, we'll write a check. But also you both got staffs, interns. I think I would like to have the Airbnb at Stanford, because then I can work on my theory of conscious and find some professors, and that will all take off. Work with all of the clinicians and the various things, ask me things, because a lot of the research dives into my theory. And as I will produce, I'll have access to the presentations, and I'll say, and this right here is reference from the presentation at Synchrony. You see where the PR, you guys have saved my life. And you came to me. That's the curious thing, that we're talking theories of consciousness. There's a little bit to talk about. All right. The final bit is hashtag breaking brilliant. Whereas those men made meth, this woman wakes wisdom. I'm the one that shouts, Mama says knock you out. Don't call it a comeback. I'm Fresh Prince from scratch. So the entercation aspect of it is the entercation empire, hashtag breaking brilliant. I mean, Sean, you might want to know, but it's also, I'm going out to the Will and Jada Smith Family Foundation for that. We're all African ancestrally. And autistic humans deserve to be respected, deserve to have a good theory so that we can do much more laser-focused research. That's what I'm offering from the foggy morning of Pacific Grove and all of the environmental trauma that I go through multiple times a day. I want to say thank you from the entirety of my heart. I'm going to say I admire and honor your strength. I know what it's like. I'm telling you, my dog is autistic, and how hard it is to be in a position to care for an autistic human. If you can care for me for just a little while, 6 months, I will repay you tremendously. pay the whole species. I will teach us about our moral responsibilities to use science for all humanity. Philosophy's got a lot of power. Harmony.